change the view of the camera. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, and now I've put the computer so that I can have live chat. Or maybe I have to refresh the page. Okay, guys, please respond if you see something, because I can't see anything on my computer. I guess I'll have to leave the studio thingy and get myself to the live. Well, it seems like I am live. There are 2 people watching according to this. Wait. Oh, hello. Hello, hello. Sorry. I can't really get this to work. I'm not an expert at this. Sorry, guys. Let me squat so that you guys don't need to just see a pan and my tea and everything. Okay, I have your comments here, but that's the top chat. I want the live chat. Okay, hello, Sick Paris Magna and Silesium and Linda and Lord Gonzo. Hi, everyone. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to be making today because I haven't decided between my 3 recipes. There is one that is cauliflower, some kind of cauliflower curry, which looks like this. And there's one that is pasta, that looks like this. And there is one that is meat dish, that is a Japanese bowl, which looks like this. So I haven't really figured it out. Maybe you guys can help me choose. I've got to turn the sound off on this because it's echoing. Okay, there we go. It's kind of confusing for me to see myself at the same time as I'm doing stuff. You love the cauliflower. Let's have a vote. Oh, yes. How do you do votes? I forget how you do that. Engage with your audience. Start a poll. Oh, cool. Wait. I'm going to disappear for 2 seconds. What should I cook? Cauliflower curry, Japanese bowl, or ratatouille pasta. There we are. Start. Oh, that was exciting. Here's a poll. I mean, we probably aren't enough people to statistically make a difference in the poll, but it would be funny though. How do I see the results though? I don't even know. Okay, I don't know. Everybody's putting a vote in each one, so how am I going to... I don't know how to end the poll. Anyway, I'm going to get my food out to the fridge to like look at the stuff. see if any of them need an ingredient that I don't have. I don't think so though, because I have none of them need milk or eggs, so I think I can manage. All they need is olive oil, salt, and pepper, which I have. All right. End the poll after 2 minutes and take okay, wait. I think I push end poll. Okay. Okay, so 50% went the ratatouille pasta, 33% went the Japanese bowl, and 16% the cauliflower curry. Okay. Let's follow that then. Okay, so we haven't done any pasta dish, so let's do the ratatouille rigatoni. And it's with creamy tomato sauce and panko topping. Looks like this, if you guys can see. Let's take that. Where are we? Tea. I think that this is it. Yeah. I mean, I'll make all of the recipes at some point on the channel, but all of them are pretty much the same. So there's some chopped tomatoes, there's some, oh, that was open. That's not good. Oh no. Well, at least it was dry pasta, so it's not like... Okay, 2 cloves of garlic, an onion, some cream, an aubergine, or an eggplant, depending on where you are, a zucchini, breadcrumbs, panko. Oh, this got kind of wet. I think that the guy who was delivering kind of he got it wet with the ice that was in one of the package. Just kind of bled out on the rest. So, well, it's good to be using the spices now before like they get unusable. But it seems like it kind of bled through the cracks. Anyway, okay. Let's turn this around and let's see. Okay. So the first thing is to take care of the vegetables. So let's put the vegetables in the oven. So they want you to put it at 220 degrees. And I don't understand the settings of this oven, so I'll just put the one that has worked before, which is the grill option. Then they say to do the aubergine and the zucchini in small pieces that are 1 centimeter big, and then put them on the plate, and then put olive oil and salt on it, and then put it in the oven. So let's do that. I'll move you guys a little bit closer since I'm not putting anything on the stove right now. There we are. Okay, sorry for the scrunches. Let's get the aubergine out. Okay, there's the aubergine and the zucchini. And I'll just move my tea. Oh, okay, right, here we go. Now I don't know how you do aubergine, but I'm guessing that you just like take off the top part that has the little hat and just put it into pieces like this. lettuce or aubergine, whatever you want to call it, is kind of a mushy vegetable, you could say. Yeah. So it's not something that I like particularly, unless it's like combined and like you barely notice it. So like in a moussaka, I like moussaka, and I like ratatouille. So yeah, this is ratatouille, and ratatouille is actually pretty easy to make because it's just basically aubergine, zucchini, and you just put them together basically, and then you put tomato in, and then you just eat that basically. So it's not even for me, it is okay. Like I can actually do it, but there are so many different ways of doing it, obviously, since there's so much. You can do it with so many different kinds of spices, and usually I just put rosemary, because that's what my mom will give me, rosemary from France, and I don't know if they want me to like use the whole zucchini and the whole aubergine, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so anyway, let's see what's going on in the chat. Blah, blah, blah. Pasta sounds like the move. All right, ratatouille. Where is Remy when you need him? Yeah, sometimes I wish I had Remy the rat. He would help me with like pulling my hair in different directions if he saw that I was doing the wrong thing or that something was missing, or give me my creative inspiration that I need. That would be funny. Okay, so what happened this week is mostly me looking at apartments, and it's been a hectic week because I just can't. I hate doing this, and also now I'm looking at apartments that are expensive for what I'm used to, because what I'm used to is like student prices, which aren't what an apartment usually costs, but I do have the feeling that like I'm in a small town, I may as well like have a cheap rent, but apparently not. At least if I want to have the sort of things that I want to have, and I don't think that I'm asking for too much for wanting to have a freezer in my house, or wanting to like have a functional shower that works. But I've looked at several apartments this week. I applied to 11 apartments, or 12, I think. Yeah, anyway, I went and saw 5. And yeah, it wasn't one of the apartments I saw by mistake. And now the reason for that is that I applied, let's say, I won't give the real addresses of the places, but let's say that I was on Church Street 5A or something. And so I applied for Church Street 5A. And that was not... so I went to... so I talked to a person who owns these apartments and is like the big landlord for all of these. And so they didn't give me the number or the name of the renter. They just told me, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go at this time to this house, And so during the week, and so I had a specific time, I had a specific place. So I went there, and I realized, oh, I don't know the number of the apartment. So So I went to the apartment that was written on the website in Church Street 5A. And then I saw that, well, nobody was answering the phone, the call on the door, basically. And I was like, that's strange, you know. They said that they would be free at that time. So then I called the lady who's at the office, and she's like, no, you were supposed to be at 5B, not at 5A. And I was like, okay, I guess that I'm just silly and confused to rang on the doorbell of 5A. So then I went to 5B and was welcomed by a couple that lived there in that place. And they were very nice, and they had a cat, and it was very beautiful place, wonderful, you know, it was renovated, and it was really big. And I was like, wait a minute, this sounds too good to be true. So I left, went back home. It's actually on the same street. Oh, I missed something, so that will mean more seasoning. So I went back home, which is on the same street as where I am living right now. So that's very convenient if I'm going to move. And I thought, wait a minute, because I went back on the website and then I saw that both 5A and 5B were on the website, and that the one that I had visited was not the apartment that I had wanted to visit. The one that I visited was 58 square meters, which is way too big for me, and the one that I wanted to visit was 42 square meters, which is also kind of big, but you know, kind of more made for a single adult, you know. So then I had to contact the person and say, you made a mistake. Actually, I was supposed to go to 5A. And so then I went to that apartment the day after, and it was a 70-year-old woman who lived in that place. Totally different atmosphere, but it was kind of old-fashioned, like it hadn't been, the shower and stuff weren't renovated. But it is extremely big anyway, and it is also close to my work, and it's close to my house, so I won't even need to get a moving company. The only problem is that I also saw two other apartments that are also great apartments for me, and it's hard for me to decide. So I'm using this weekend to decide which apartment I'm going to get. All of them are way more expensive, like 3,000 crowns more expensive than where I'm now, but at least it's not like the apartment, the couple apartment was way more expensive than the one I visited later. So I'm glad I didn't that I realized that something was wrong. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have done. Like, I would have paid for an apartment that I wasn't even interested in the first place. So, yeah, that was the story of the week. So I'm not the most confused person out there, apparently. Sometimes it isn't my fault. That's things are difficult. Sometimes other people, I mean, that was pretty unprofessional to make such a mistake. If they're going to put two apartments in the same building on the same day that are in the same company, then they really need to check it twice before they do that kind of thing with me. And she didn't even apologize to me, the person at the company. And yeah, that kind of sucked for me. Because I wasted time, you know, and I wasted also that couple's time, because I'm not at all interested in the apartment that they were showing. So basically, they didn't need to show their apartment to me, but they did, and so I'm glad about it, you know. Okay, right. Let's see what's going on. Linda retracted a thing. Yeah, Lord also said rude. True. It was rude. It wasn't nice. Okay, so I'm almost done with the aubergine. This is taking ages, but I think it's good to do this while I have you guys on the line, because otherwise I wouldn't. On the line. I'm such an old person to say that. Back when phones were with a cord. Remember that, guys? I'm probably the youngest person on here at the moment. I don't know. Maybe Sic Parvis Magna is around my age. But otherwise, everybody else is way older than me on here. Shout outs to any young people out there. Life is hard. Okay. Let's see. I need to now that the oven has been doing enough of this, I need to do the zucchini. So, oh shoot, I should have probably taken out the this thing before. Ugh. I don't want to burn myself on this. Well, fuck. I'll just move this to the bottom and put it higher up. Another thing. Sorry for the clanging and everything. I didn't know I had a deep dish kind of thing for the oven. Okay. Oh. Okay, let's throw that one out. Let's put this all into there. The thing about that place that is closest to me is that there are it won't be any furniture. It has a bathtub, which would be nice. But it doesn't come with anything else. There was one place I saw that had what did it have? A washing machine. And one of the places was really nice. It had an oven, like an old-fashioned stove, a kakelugn that people used to have in Sweden a long time ago. But it doesn't work. It's only decorative, so that kind of sucks. And then I saw that one of my doctor colleagues from another GP clinic lives downstairs. So it's kind of you could say a bougie place to live. Because it really is. But it's on the other side of town, so it's further away from my work. So I'm not going to do that, you know. I'm not going to, I don't think, it was a really interesting apartment because it had like nice tile on the floor and that stove thing, and it really reminded me of living in France, where there were really tall windows, and you know, it gave me some kind of nostalgia being in that place. It gave me sorts of feelings, you know, but it's not really the practical option because it was a really small place, and the rent was good, and because she was a lawyer, the person who owned the place, the landlord, she had written up her own contract. So she managed to make it much cheaper and to include the electricity and the internet in the it was included in the rent, and she managed to like figure out how to do that with her lawyer skills, which I found kind of funny because like we all use the skills at our jobs in funny ways sometimes. But all the people that I've met, except for the person that I haven't met, the owner of the place by my house, everybody has been super nice and super helpful, and I haven't had any like people who have been wanting to scam me or anything like that. Unfortunately, the tiny house has not contacted me, which really is disappointing because I really did want to live in a tiny house. Even if it was going to, cost more, it would have been nice, but I'm not living in it's kind of like, the exploding brain. I mean, I'm not really living in the future. I'm just I'm just living my boring life where I just need a simple apartment. And even that is hard to get. I've been lucky because I've like literally jumped on apartments that pop up on the website as soon as they come up. But now I'm in the second stage, which is the worst stage in my opinion, which is the stage of I need to decide now which place to choose. And it's a great problem to have that I have 3 places that I'm choosing between. But as somebody who hates making decisions, it's not great. Okay, let's transfer these onto the plate thing. There's way too much vegetable, but I guess this will feed me for a while. Okay. Gloop, 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 gloop. Okay. And I actually bought some new salt. I didn't realize that these things were going to be so salty, but it's because every step on these is like putting salt. But I don't know, I guess that it does make it taste better. But it does need some salt and pepper. Okay. Right, they say be generous with all that. And then put it to roast for 20 to 25 minutes until they are soft. Okay. Where is my oven mitt? I can't really see my oven mitt. Where did I put it? Oh, it's on the floor. Okay. Oof. The oven is hot. And this. There we go. Okay, that was part 1. Part 2. I mean, wow, this is going to be taking ages. So this is roasting the panko. So we've got this. It says, during that time, warm up some olive oil in a big pan and put the panko 2-3 minutes till it is golden and crispy, and then put salt and pepper and then put it to the side. Okay. I'm getting better at doing this thing called reading in advance that I apparently did not know how to do before. Okay. Here's the pan. There we go. Middle thing. Okay, so tonight we're pretending to be Italian. But I'm also pretending to be from the south of France because this is Provençal ratatouille. So we are also pretending to be in the south of France. Okay, there we go. So we have that. Good, and then let's find a panko. And I hope that it hasn't gotten, no, it's not wet. That's good. I don't want it to be wet. Okay, let's put all this in. I don't know how they expect that little bit of olive oil to not make this stick to the pan. But oh, okay. Bless me. All right. What's going on in the chat? I've missed you guys. Oh yeah, Sic Parvis Magna is younger. The old days when you had to ask a girl out by calling by the landline and asking your father if you can put her on the phone. Simpler times. Commute to work sound ideal. La Provence, ooh, Marseille? Well, I've never been to Marseille. I've never been to Nice either. Somehow I managed, my parents were interested in like visiting Saint-Tropez, which was one of the most boring things ever, because all you see in Saint-Tropez is yachts, basically. Not at all a place that is like cute to visit. So yeah, that was a dud visit. Not really. Do not recommend that. No, but we've been to Sète, and we've been to certain places. My mom has a friend who's bipolar, and unfortunately, going on a trip with her is hectic. Her bipolar friend is very, very interested in France. I'm very obsessed with France, and that's great until I only realized. My mom told me only like years later that her friend was bipolar, but I realized now that she was in a manic state when we went on the visit to the south of France. And it was like we were running all over the place to find the best restaurant, and like the friend was convinced that she knew where the best restaurant was, and like the hours were going and we were looking and looking and looking for restaurants, and nothing was good enough. And like it really stressed me out, and it stressed my mom out. In the end, we ended up going to like some really bad place to eat, and that wasn't a good evening. But otherwise, it was really fun being with her, and we went to the beach, and we got to eat at nice restaurants and stuff. And I got to see the lavender. I really love the lavender that grows in the south of France. So yeah, let me put some salt and pepper onto this panko, because that is what they want. They want salt and they want pepper on this. And then it seems like a little bit of it is becoming a little bit golden, but it needs a little bit more, I think. I don't know how much they want you to like actually roast this, but okay. Right. You've never been to Marseille, and Annie says you're living in Mâcon. Oh, Mâcon. I've never been to Mâcon either. Yeah, the gendarme of Saint-Tropez. that's nobody outside of France knows who the gendarme of Saint-Tropez is. My dad loves Louis de Funès and that kind of humor. I don't understand French humor. For some reason, I understand English humor better. So yeah. Okay, so they want us to do the onion and to have the parsley and what else? Okay, they're not saying anything about the garlic, but okay. I feel like I'm ignoring you guys. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Right. Yeah, so I don't know where I'm going to choose to live, but yes, close to my work is very good. I did visit a place that was even closer to my work, but it's like at a certain point, how close do you need to be to work? 15-minute walk is not a long walk. What was good with that place is that it was everything was provided, like the electricity, internet, and the furniture. It's like I already have furniture. Like what am I going to do with that furniture? You know, I don't want to throw it out. But that place would be like 10 minutes from my work rather than 15 minutes walk. It's just that it's kind of sad that I need to pay so much more for like the same size apartment as what I have now. But what I have now is almost too good to be true. I personally love to be able to cross the street and go to work every day. At some point, it's literal murder. At my last job, it was a 2-hour commute every day. Oof. That's a whole movie. Yes, that is a whole movie. I'm sorry about that. I mean, if I were to commute, then I would live in Stockholm, you know, and like, I wouldn't live in this town. Some people commute from like other towns, but that's because they're from those other towns. For me, it's like, if I'm going to be living far away from my job, I refuse. You know, I refuse to live in a little town. So that bougie place that was by the train station and it was by the hospital, but it was on the other side of town from my clinic where I usually work. Also, it is it's closer to the center of town. But I mean, this town is so small, so like when I say the other side of town, it's basically a half-hour walk. So I can choose to walk for 45 minutes to my workplace every day, or learn to bike finally, which like I'm not really ready to do, but I would have to in that case. But yeah. Okay, I think the panko is pretty much ready. Let's put it in a bowl so that I can finally do the rest, which is the onions and stuff. Oh, no, we don't want it to keep being warm. Also, the bougie place only has a very tiny kitchen. Which, you know, maybe it wouldn't have been a problem for me before all of my HelloFresh, but maybe it is a problem now. I don't know. Okay, so there's the panko, very golden, very nice. I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay, so the panko is done. Meanwhile, the vegetables are in the oven, so we need to do the onion. And this is always, as always, the most fun part of this, because I don't know how to cut an onion, basically. But I always do my best to try new things. I mean, since I've talked to you guys, I met with my ISFJ friend last weekend. It was really good to actually process certain things, which, I mean, I'm going to be visiting my I'm going to be going to the psychologist this week again. But now I suddenly got like a lot of anxiety about the autism assessment, because I don't know what I think, you know. I don't really, I know that I'll be nervous, and then like if I have to tell my parents about what is actually going on, and there are a lot of things that I need to process. And I'm glad I have my friend to help me through this, because it does stress me out quite a bit, actually. Yeah. Okay. I had to take a day off last Monday because my head was hurting, and then on Friday I forgot to take my medication, and then my head was hurting again. But I did go to work that day. I told my my boss that I think that I'm not doing too well and I'm on my way to burnout. Which, yeah, it's not a nice thing to have to tell your boss that, but that is kind of what I had to do. I don't know. I don't know how small I need to make these pieces, but as small as possible, I guess. I have a feeling that I did not cut this onion very well. Like, I did not, you know, it's like cutting in the right way from the start, you know. And that is what led me to so much anxiety when I was doing this in front of my friends. I don't know. I got a panic attack, and then like I was shamed for that pretty much, I felt afterwards. And that was, you know, not very conducive to, it wasn't very helpful for my therapy, let's just say it that way. I did not have, I am extremely self-conscious about cutting onions. And I know that's silly, but it kind of is debilitating, you know? Like, how are you supposed to live a normal life if you can't even cut an onion, you know? And the fact that I heard those words from a friend of mine has really, yeah. But my ISFJ friend, even though he doesn't really get it, he does say that like it's normal that you don't know, since nobody taught you how to do it. And he said that, you know, so we have our different difficulties. Yeah. And also my ISFJ friend does not judge me about the asexuality thing, because I kind of think that he's also on the asexual spectrum as well, so he kind of understands what's going on. He is quite open-minded for an ISFJ. Okay, we've done the onions. Now we've got the garlic, which is called white onion in Swedish. And then also parsley. I was supposed to do a video with older INFP insights, but she had to cancel because I don't know. I don't know what happens to the other people that were supposed to be on the Zoom call. But that does give me more time to sleep tonight. So that's always good. It's so hard to get INFPs together, you know. And then I also talked to my brother about, well, that maybe I wanted to go to Japan. He also wants to go to Japan. He's really into manga and stuff, and I think that he would like it. But yeah, it's not really happening at the moment. My mom also wants to go to Japan, but I don't want to go to Japan with her. So I'm not telling her about my plans at the moment. Not yet, at least. I stressed out my dad a lot about talking about apartments. But what is good is that my parents trust me to like be able to do this myself because I've done it so many thousands of times before. So they don't ask me too many questions. But they do ask me a lot of other questions about my life, and you know, I can't really tell them everything. And I mean, it's not healthy to tell them everything either, but you know, I wish I could tell them more than what I'm currently doing, because their opinion could be useful. At the moment, I'm doing a lot on my own, and you know, I couldn't even decide where I was going to cook today. So I need extra input from other people. And I don't think that this is like needing external validation. It's more like it's helpful, you know, to have somebody else's opinion on things. And you feel like you're going insane if you don't talk to somebody else about your life. And it is pretty lonely being at psychiatry, like. But I did meet a very nice person, a junior doctor at psychiatry, and she showed me around and was very nice to me. And she asked me for some advice about some things, and I asked her. And it ends up that she's actually worked at the same health clinic as I did. When I left to go do my internship, she took over my job. So yeah, I felt happy to make a connection there. So things are going well in a positive direction and such. At least from my from last weekend's slump, where I was not doing well, you know. Okay, what's going on in the chat? I feel like I've 70 kilometers a day to go to university? That's a lot. 70 kilometers. I feel like, wow. No, I'm not thinking about driving. I'm like hiding it from my brain. I really can't think about it. I get so triggered, and it's sad that this has become a trigger for me, but I don't want to drive a car while triggered. And I don't know how to get out of that slump, but I have to take it at a very, very slow pace and not stress out about it, which is easy for me to say, because I am going to stress about it one way or another. But it's just so discouraging, you know. And then, like, you know, it makes you feel like you're so dumb, you know, for not being able to drive when like tons of people who are bad at 10,000 other things like can drive a car and I can't. So yeah, that's pretty upsetting for me. I don't really know what to do about that. It's just there's too much on my plate right now. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Bicycle era Ingrid. Yeah, I also having a bicycle. Biking. Breathing exercise and CBT help me with anxiety. Yeah, I mean, I've done all that stuff. But I don't know really. It only helps like short term, it feels like. I don't know. And also CBT, it's helped me with like social anxiety, but not in other kinds of situations. Okay. Okay, now that they say put back some olive oil in here. Because it's been filled with panko. Now, we're going to put the onions and the garlic in there. Finhacka pressa, grovhacka that, stek lök. Oh, just the lök? Okay. Just the lök. They didn't say anything about the garlic, so I'm just putting the onion in. I don't know what I'm saving the garlic for, but we've figured out before that we need to actually read the instructions on this. Okay, now let's see the parsley. You're in a similar place about cooking? What do you mean? Is it cooking anxiety? Because that is what I have always. I'm always in cooking anxiety mode. But yes, it is getting better because like I can actually cut up an onion in front of you guys without crying. The only tears are probably the onion tears, you know. I think that somehow the onion is more difficult because I get that feeling of like, oh my god, like my eyes are tearing up, something is wrong, you know. And that kind of leads to more anxiety, you know, the physical symptoms. And you're like, oh, what's wrong with me, you know? As opposed to cutting up a carrot or something. But I also get anxiety about cutting up a carrot, so. But onions are hard, you know? They are round and slippery and they have layers and it's just like, how do you even do this? Okay. What do they want me to do with this? Stek lök with salt. Okay. Right. I don't understand because in the picture there seems to be the onion with stuff. Like, it seems to be the parsley in there as well. I don't know. Okay, and now we are going to cook the pasta until al dente, which I think is probably the only step that I know how to do. Okay. Whew, the stove is hot. Okay. I need to rearrange things here, I think. there was a piece of pasta. So you can see that I am making authentic pasta made in Italy. It says with wheat from EU and non-EU origin. So, oh no. Anyway, so there was the pasta is cooking there. Let's put the filter on. Okay. Your therapist taught me some breathing exercises that I use while boxing. Breathing exercises are super helpful. Lord Gonzo, you have really interesting, hobbies. You play Dungeons and Dragons and you do boxing, which, you know, I love that you have those hobbies. Hi everyone, I think you're cutting up better. Probably won't believe. If only people can be... Okay, Sig Parvis Magna has been waiting for Schumann since the start, right? Oh, Lord Gonzo left to play D&D. INFJs for the win. Yeah, Lord Gonzo. I'm sorry that Lord Gonzo is I know his D&D schedule. He's always playing D&D every Saturday evening, which is when I do the lives. Where are we? I don't know how long we've been going. Wait, we've been going for an hour. Okay. You're really bad at cooking. I wasn't taught to do even the simplest things. Well, Sig Parvis Magna, that's exactly my life. I didn't learn anything. So, welcome to the club. Bye, Magna. You had a professor from Italy? You're always waiting for the timekeeper, and that is Schumann, right? Which is, the timekeeper is 2 hours and 48 minutes is our record, or 56 minutes or something. Almost 3 hours. Okay, now the onions are doing something, so that's good. Okay, so we're cooking the pasta, and that's something I can keep check on. No, it says that you're supposed to keep the garlic here. Okay, let me check the oven. Oh, okay. I think that the oven needs to finish now. That was it. It's probably been overcooked in the oven. Okay, a lot of things are cooking at the same time, which is overwhelming. Let me get the phone here. Okay. Hey there, enjoy your food. That's Mr. Sasky63. Thank you for welcoming me to the club. Okay, so at the moment we have the vegetables here, we have the pasta cooking, we have the onions cooking, and we are going to see how long we need to do this now. It says 4 or 5 minutes to do the onions. Okay, I'm going to put you guys here, I think, so that you can have another view. I'm using this to keep you guys propped up. Okay. Ah. Okay, good. Right. Okay, let's add some more salt. Okay, the pasta the heat needs to go down a little bit, I think, and this pan as well, I think. Okay. So while we're doing this, I'm tired now. Do you mind asking some deeper questions, or do you prefer to enjoy your food in peace? Well, Mr. Sasky, you're 63. You're allowed to ask questions. That's the whole point of this live. It's just I'm pretty occupied with like all these pots and pans. So you can ask your questions. And also, like, my food isn't ready at all, so I'm not about to eat anytime soon. All I have is some tea. I'll drink some tea. Well, yes, we are part of the INFP club, but also the club of the people who can't cook. I am getting better at the cooking, and it is quite good once I actually have the instructions, you know. Without the instructions, it kind of sucks. I don't really know like what the next stage is. Because like my ISFJ friend, for example, he's really like, he knows what kinds of ingredients go with what, and like how to create your own recipes. That's like, you know, next level stuff. I'm not really there. I can kind of improvise. If something would go terribly wrong, I can kind of fix it maybe. But that's as far as I've got. My parents like never really cooked food, and I wasn't like involved in the cooking of the food. I would maybe be involved in like baking, like cookies or a cake that was from a ready mix. But I didn't have them. My SFJ friend, for example, is Italian, and his mom was always cooking stuff, and he was always involved in the cooking. And his grandfather would cook things all the time, and you know, my grandmother would cook things, and she really liked cooking things, but she didn't want anybody else in the kitchen with her, so I was never involved with the cooking process. DL, hello DL. What's the most compatible type for INFPs? Well, that's a very hard question. Like, there isn't a good answer to that. I would say that there are certain types that are more likely to be compatible with an INFP than others. But any type could be compatible with any particular INFP, you know. I would say probably an intuitive type would be more suited to an INFP. Unless, but there are certain sensor types that could be compatible with an INFP, like ISFJs. I know there's a controversial pairing, but I think that pairing could actually work well. I think with ISFP could also work kind of well. But I don't think that an INFP should be with a sensor and a both a sensor and a thinker, you know? Like, it could work with an ESTJ, but it would be, you know, or an ESTP. I don't know really how that would work out, but it could. So yeah, that's my answer. Healthy types. Yes, Schumann. Schumann has the right answer there. Oh, okay. The thing with cooking is that it takes me so much energy. And you know, like if I weren't on camera, I would still be talking to myself like this. That's the thing that's crazy. So you guys are not affecting this at all, which is great. Okay. Now what do they want us to do? They want us to take off the water of the pasta once the pasta is done. But the pasta is not done. Okay, I think that the onions are singing, and that means that we should turn off the heat. Because the thing that they want is that we do something in the pot and something in the pan, and I don't know how to coordinate these things right. So they say that when the pasta is al dente, we need to add all of these things to the pasta in the pot. So we need to add the garlic, sugar, the spice, the Mediterranean spice, you could say, and then add this onion into the pot. And then afterwards, we're going to add everything to the pan. So we're going to put this into the pot, and then the pot into the pan. Which, that took me a long time to understand, but let us test the pasta. No, the pasta is not at all cooked. I was a little bit too scared of having the high heat in this pasta. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer. But let's see what's going on in the chat. What would you say for you the biggest problems in your life are connected to other people, like worrying how other people see you, if they see you as competent or useful, if they approve of you, etc.? If you're referring to what's his name? Frank James. Frank James made a video about like that INFPs and like types that are NPs, or what was it? Types that are dominant judgers often feel that their problem is people, while people who are dominant perceivers have more of a problem of how to navigate the world. Well, the joke's on you is like, I have problems navigating people and the world. So, yeah, but I do worry a lot about how other people see me and that kind of thing. I do worry about seeming competent and everything, because, like, otherwise I wouldn't have chosen my job as a doctor. Like, I think that a part of choosing that job was because I wanted to be seen as competent and useful, you know? And yes, a lot of my life has been for the approval of other people, basically, mostly my parents, which hasn't, I'm trying to get out from that, you know, like, because I've been pretty dependent on what my parents view as, like, the right way to live. And now I'm trying to, like, live my own life, separate from them, which isn't always easy. But I do think that that is a problem that I often have. Okay. Well, even if I turned off the heat on this, it's still burning my onions. Oh, okay, well, I can't really do anything about that, but we're just going to keep it there. Wait a second. What's going on? Okay, I haven't turned it, I turned it to the lowest setting, but not to 0, so that's why I was burning my onions. Okay, well, That's why. Oh, okay. I'm an INFP myself. I noticed that trend for me personally, so I was curious if you felt similarly. Yes, I do feel similarly. I do. And it's weird, right? Because you'd think that an INFP would be able to... You think that an INFP would be able to talk, like, to march to a beat of their own drum, blah, blah, blah. You know? But somehow it's also coupled with wanting to be approved of by others, you know? And it's like a weird kind of dichotomy. I think it also doesn't help by most INFPs being Enneagram 4s, because Enneagram 4 is all about image. So I think that there is something to it there. Okay, well, I can't eat all of the zucchini and aubergine while I'm waiting for the pasta to cook. Okay. Come on, pasta. Are you al dente now? Are you? No. No, you are too dente. You are too much, too hard. Well, they're slightly okay. I think that we can, well, just maybe wait a little bit to add all these things into it. Because then we'll have to add the sugar, garlic, and this. Okay. Oh no, things are going on in the chat, which I haven't seen. Try and clean as you go. Well, DL, no, I will not. I will not, okay? Like, this is already taking a lot of things. This is taking a lot of spoons out of me, just doing the cooking. Have you found that trend with yourself is to worry how other people see and feel about you? Yes. And 100% is like black and white thinking. Either I do whatever I want and I don't listen at all to others, or listen to others 100%. I have nothing to say in the matter. Yes, exactly. But you're trying to balance it because it's not stable. Yeah, I agree with everything. And Sig Parvis Magna says, I guess as an INFP, being around people can be difficult, except when there's acceptance and also having difficulty navigate the world. Yes. And Schumann isn't always that way. Each type get the feedback from the outside world and from other people we scratch against. Okay. We can feel invisible at times. Yes. I really can't clean as I go. But I will clean off whatever little things are in front of the camera. Because I know that it's probably a little bit disgusting to see all of that stuff hanging around. But okay. Let's see. Okay, I think the pasta is done. So we're going to take down the heat, take out the water. Okay. Put this back into the pan. Okay. Put the pot back on. Put that in the sink. Okay. Now we're going to put the garlic. Which I have my hands full of. The garlic, the sugar, and the spice. Garlic. Oh, also, I have a video planned for you guys, which is going to be about, it's about 10,000 things, okay?
as usual, you know, nothing new. But it's going to be about yoga by Björk. Not yoga the sport. Yoga the song by Björk. Which I wanted to do for a while now. But I've been inspired by older INFP insights and Buffer Paraglanis, who I made a reaction video to Dulles' reaction video. Or not reaction video. Dulles made a video about the letter to INFPs, and since then Buffer Paraglanis and older INFP insights have made a video about that. Yeah. Okay, wait, I have to put this sugar. Sugar. Where's the sugar? No, that's not. There we go. Just a little bit. Right, it was a half a teaspoon, so that should be enough. Just a little bit. Okay, good. Now what do they want us to do that? Do that in 30 seconds till it smells good. Well, I thought they already smelled good, but okay. That's nice. Okay. Now we have the pan. So now what do they want us to do? We put the crushed tomatoes, which I have in a box like this. Chopped tomatoes. I was thinking crushed, you know. Because in Swedish you say krossade tomater, which actually just means chopped. When it comes to tomatoes, it doesn't mean... Okay. They are crushed tomatoes. I mean, okay. Right, so let me see. We need to put this back on here. And then what do we do? Put the tomatoes, the cream. Oh, wait. I need this, okay. Okay, let's put all this in. Let's put the whole of it in, right? Okay, good. This is literally what I'm working on in therapy, is making tomato sauce was one of the things that I was supposed to do before, like, during my therapy. So this is therapy, okay? Everybody has different things in their therapy. And mine is basically this. Okay, so this is some kind of like stock, kind of vegetable stock sauce or spice, you could say. My brother tried to explain to me Dune, and he wants me to see Dune 2. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. My brother is really into it, and I'm like, I don't understand. But we were just joking about spice, you know? Because it sounds like the name of a drug, you know? Which, there was a drug that was called spice. Like, it was just a mixture of different drugs. Okay, let me see. What's going on? Do you not like following instructions? No, I hate following instructions. See the endpoints of the spectrum. We try to find a balance. Schumann recommends Björk's old bizarre music videos like Army of Me. Yeah, I don't understand them. I'm just so confused by it. Yeah, it's a lot of work for me, but I definitely know it's worth it. I think it's insecurity by other people has a lot of implications like imposter syndrome, perfectionism in my work, etc. Yes, it's not good. It's not good for anybody, but for INFPs especially, we need to like count on ourselves, you know, like we need to we need to be able to accept that, like, you know, Other people won't always like us, and that's fine because we care about ourselves, you know? And don't listen to all the FE users who are like telling you that you're selfish. I saw that Side Casserole came out with a video about how INFPs aren't narcissists. Just because we have FI doesn't mean that we are selfish and that we only care about ourselves. Oh, I should have used the scissors, but okay. I did not use the scissors. Okay. So we need to put this in. How much do they want us to put in there? Okay, well, they didn't say really. So I'm going to leave a little bit and then see if I need more later. Okay, there we go. All of that. That was around half the package. But that was quite a lot, actually. I guess that this is supposed to swirl a little bit. Okay, what else am I supposed to put in here? Water. A little bit of water. And the cheese. Okay. And then the vegetables. We have way too many things in here. But okay. Cheese. Let's put the cheese in. I wonder what this is some kind of unspecified cheese that is not, it's not Parmesan, but it's an unknown cheese. It's supposed to imitate Parmesan, you know? Okay. Ugh. Like, these things are so hard to open. It's nice that they give me packages, but it's like, come on. Okay. Cheese. We love cheese. We love cheese. We love cheese. Now, I mean, I was thinking about the not liking to follow instructions because I'm reading up on autism a lot because I'm waiting for my autism assessment and getting really stressed out about it. And okay, that's probably a little bit too much cheese. But this is for 2 meals, actually, you know. Okay. But I was thinking of there's that thing called persistent drive for autonomy or pathological demand avoidance. And it's not recognized in the diagnosis criteria, but it is something that a lot of people with autism experience, is that they feel like any demand on their system is like puts them in fight or flight mode. And that's kind of how it feels like. I don't like, sometimes I can't stand anybody demanding anything of me. And it's ridiculous, but sometimes it's hard. Oh wow, I'm missing a lot in the comments. Let me just put the things into the pan. We needed to put water and the zucchini and the salt and the pepper. Okay. I mean, we won't be able to put all of this into the pan, but a good half of it, maybe. Okay. Because it's supposed to be a little bit like a ratatouille. Ratatouille. I hate when Americans say ratatouille. Like there is no E at the end. It's ratatouille. And it has nothing to do with rats. Okay. There, I'm going to leave the rest for later so that I can eat it as a snack. Okay. Okay. Nice, nice. Oops. Oh, well. Ugh. It's hot, it's hot, it's hot. We need to, well, this goes back into the pan, I mean. Ugh. I need to dry that off somehow. Well, I'm not adding any water to this because there's no space in this pan. How am I even going to add the pasta into it is another question. Okay, put all that, put it 3-4 minutes like this, yeah, and add the salt and pepper. Oops. I think I put too much salt. It's because my salt has two holes. One of the holes is like smaller to sprinkle it, and one of them is just a big hole to like put everything in. Okay. While that's cooking a little bit, we look at the stuff. Oh la 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 la, I'm missing a lot of things. I think I started as I tried to impress others 100% in my life. Then I shifted to the other side and tried to ignore everyone else. It was isolating and alienating. Didn't feel good. Was there moments where others had doubted you and your abilities or gave no feedback, positive or constructive, when you tried to improve and show them how you can do things well? Yes. Well, for me, yes. Mr. Sasuke says, yeah, but that was, to a degree, still is absolutely me. What I try to accept now is that I will fail and people will get mad at me and this is okay, it's supposed to happen. Yeah. At the same time, it's awful that people are so mad at, like, not being able to do things 100% correctly. You know? So it says, yes, that is true. In life, we will fail and we will succeed. I guess that we can do is to learn about how to set your own expectations and how to be merciful and accepting towards ourselves. Well said. Even the masters of things will make mistakes, and yeah, we are all basically flawed and not ready. And that is okay, since life is meant to be lived this way, and not as perfect. Mr. Sasuke says, yeah, from my experience, I'm no expert in people, believe me. Most people want to tell you their honest opinion and see that you generally try and improve and work on the things they said. Schumann says, haven't we put something a lot of times in the oven by now? No. All we did was we put the vegetables in the oven and now we took them out. Yes, I took the vegetables out of the oven. And you are right, give people the right to dislike you, very much spot on. Learn to do your own thing and let others either like you or not. It is up to them. No one is perfect and that is how it should be. True. When you do your own thing, there's people who will appreciate that, will find their way to you and vice versa. And I think that is the best part. None of us can make anyone else like or love us. Yeah, you can't and you shouldn't control other people so that it can be their true selves, even if it hurts what they are saying. Try using techniques to help in those situations. Okay? Yeah, Magna. I think HelloFresh likes oven vegetables a lot. Yes. Yes, it's always the same thing. It's always oven vegetables and cooking a sort of starch and then putting it into a pan. Create a bubble and breathe and try to stay as calm as possible. Yeah. Yeah, it will hurt to be scary quite a bit in the start. After a while, when you realize that you didn't die or abandoned, you start to rebuild your own confidence and trust. No, I meant in some of all's dream, not just today. Yeah, it's always a lot of oven stuff. Practice using the voice in calm level when you're feeling pushed on people's expectations. An angry food looks super tasty, thank you. DL, Are you talking to me? I'm sorry if I sound angry or stressed about your comments. I am pretty sensitive about these kinds of things. And it's not like I want to create an echo chamber on here where everybody is just praising me all the time, but sometimes I will sound a little bit strange if somebody suggests something that I don't immediately like. I mean, after all, we are alive, and so I don't have the time to react in real time to the comments in maybe a way that helps. Let me get some, I don't have any house paper, so I need to get some toilet paper. Okay, sorry that I'm using toilet paper, but toilet paper is exactly the same as household paper, okay? It's just that this stuff has already crudded up. Okay. Okay. Now let's put some pasta in. I think. If everything is right. Tillsätt rostad zucchini. Bädd den kokad pasta i sås. Tillsätt en skvätt vatten om sås verkar för tjock. Lägg upp ratatouille-pasta i skålar. Toppa med panko och persilja. Okay. I don't think that the pasta is cooked enough. So maybe if I put it in here, then it will be a little bit smoother and nicer. I felt like I need a bigger pan. This pan does not have the space for all this. But I do not own another pan, so that is life. Okay, I wasn't able to put all the pasta in there. But that doesn't really matter, does it? Let's just uncouple it from the... Oh, it does smell good. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is just like heating these things together, kind of. It's not really mixing them well, but... Okay, well, these pasta pieces are for me as a snack. They're my snack. Okay, let's add a little bit of water. It feels like a little bit of water is needed to make this a little bit less thick. Okay. All right. And at the end, when I'm serving these in the bowls, I'm going to be putting the panko on top of this, like a crunchy top, and then putting the parsley, and then that's it. That is it. Okay. Okay. What's going on? But negative feedback hurts always at least a little bit. I don't think you can become immune to it. I guess it is how we can accept their point of view and not as the universal truth. True. DL reminds me a bit of our ghost. Who's our ghost? True, you learn to accept other people's opinions better. I understand because I've gone through the same thing, Ingrid. Oh, okay. Sorry, DL. Don't worry about it, Ingrid. Thank you for doing the stream for us. Super chill. Yeah, sometimes they have good points, sometimes not. Since they don't know your full story, you can learn from it and the interactions, and sometimes they just use bad and hurtful words. True. Don't know your story very well. Spot on. Yeah. yeah, I am going to be talking a little bit about like how stories can be misinterpreted in the yoga video. Because that video is not just about yoga. It's not just about the lyrics to that song. It's also a reaction to Delicia's video, you could say. You're right, but for me personally, I was so scared of criticism, I actually tried to avoid it and tried to hide from people. And that was annoying to others. Yeah, that's the story of my life. Okay. Because sometimes a person may have gone through things you may not imagine. Thank you, Ingrid, for this lovely gathering again. Parvis Magna and Mr. Sasuke. Thanks for the chat. I have to go tonight. See you for next one and have fun with the cookings. Okay, bye, Silesia. Bye. Okay. It's tough, but you have to look at your losses in life and overcome them and overgrow. Yes. And Silesia says, yes, for me too. Avoiding criticism and confrontation is natural to us INFPs. I'm just now starting to learn away from it and to meet and learn more of my feelings related to it. Yeah. No, I agree to everything in the chat. TM was our ghost. Yes, TM was very strange in the last live. But DL has not done anything strange yet, so it's okay. He is accepted in our group. But Mr. TM was really, I don't know what kind of drugs he was on or what he was talking about. Really weird stuff. I don't know. Okay. I'm being very careful here because everything is spilling. But I think that we're almost done with this food thing. Okay. Now I'm going to try to make this into an actual plate. Okay. This is the kind of food that I could like, that I think that I could make on my own. Because the only thing is I need Mediterranean spices, you know, like rosemary and that kind of thing. But I know how to make ratatouille and I know how to make pasta, so this is actually pretty like feasible for me. And I like pasta. I like pasta dishes. Like it's kind of my comfort food. I always go back to. So this feels realistic for me actually to make it. Maybe not like on a daily or even weekly basis, but it might be something that I could do at some point in time for myself without the HelloFresh. So that's positive. Here we are. We're going to put some parsley on there. Ah, perfect. Looks yummy. Let me show you the final results. Here it is. And I mean, it looks pretty similar to the picture. Okay, so there was that. And let's see. I'm almost at 2 hours, but I've 1 hour and 40 minutes. So I'm going to move myself to the other room, and we're going to eat this. And while I eat this, I'm I'm going to just check in on you guys, talk to you a little bit, and then go to sleep. Okay, let me find there. Good. Okay, let us move. And I mean, the rest of my apartment is pretty dark, so let's go. Okay, my table is a mess, but that's because I've been doing a little bit of crochet. Okay, there we are. Let's go to the chat, live chat. Do you mind if I send you something of an interesting conference about medicine? I answered. No, I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm sorry if I've been harsh on you in my email backs to you. Because I'm not like against having contact with you guys. It's just I'm not really good at keeping contact with people in general, online or offline. And I can only focus on one person at a time, which has always been that way. But send it to me. I like it. Looks tasty. Bravo, chef. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I like the crunchy bits of the panko. It has that little extra crunch. It was good. I enjoy it. I got some yarn today at the secondhand boutique. Oh, sorry. I need to make some more tea. Let me just put the kettle on, and I'll leave you to ask some questions. At the moment, I'm distracting myself from having to decide between different apartments because I can't deal with questions. I'm not a good reader. At the moment, I'm not doing anything, but I am reading this book called Go Figure, which is nonfiction. As you can see, there's a uterus on it, so it's about the human body, the woman's human body. And I don't know, I'm like a third of the way in, you could say. And there were some facts that I didn't actually know. This book has actually been signed by the author on the front, which is quite cool. And I got it for 20 crowns at the second-hand boutique. And also it has a nice feel to it. It's kind of like soft. Okay, let me... I used to not be able to read. Let me just turn the kettle on. Okay, well, so we've got the kettle on. Yeah, it's a nice book. It's it had some facts I didn't even know about, and it also has like pictures, like the endometrium and stuff. And here about pretty graphic pictures. I don't know if YouTube likes that, but it also has like different chemical pathways. What I found interesting is that toxic shock syndrome is actually something that was coined in like the 80s or something, back when there was a certain brand of tampons that were giving people toxic shock syndrome. But now that they've changed the chemicals inside it and stuff, basically toxic shock doesn't really affect anyone anymore. So yes, it's important to change pads and tampons regularly, because they start to smell bad and being unhygienic. But it's not like you're going to get toxic shock syndrome if you don't change it out precisely before 8 hours, So that's positive. I don't wear tampons, so TMI, but I don't like it. But I think it's good for people to know. Looks a bit like sex education biology class, but advanced. Okay. I had thought of making a video about this, and then I realized like this video would never, YouTube would never approve. So I'm hiding this in a live, okay guys? Let me talk about my sex education at school. Okay? If you want to skip this part, I will be done in a few minutes. I barely had any sex education in class, in school. We were in biology class, and basically, how in the early 2000s, like in the 90s, they wouldn't have PowerPoint presentations, like they wouldn't have a projector and that kind of thing. They would have in sick Paris Magna, you're right. But in France, in the early 2000s, it wasn't that much sex education, to be honest. You know how there used to be these plastic sheets that you would put on a projector kind of thing? And like the teachers would draw on it, or they would print on it, and then they would project it onto the wall. That was before like we could couple computers into a projector system and everything. Yeah, les transparents, exactly. I can't explain this without laughing. But my teacher, to show what happens during intercourse, had a picture of like the female anatomy, with all of the different parts, a schematic view, and like put the male anatomy upside down into that on the transparent sheet, and that picture is ingrained in my brain forever, because it was just like so weird to me. Okay. It was so weird to me, because she was like, because the pictures, like, they were exactly at the same size, so they fit into each other. And I remember it was like total silence in the class while she was showing that picture. So that was one class where she showed us that, well, this is what happens during intercourse, and this is what happens to the sperm and egg. And that they meet up, and then it produces a baby, and that you need to use protection. The thing is, the actual class about protection, she saved for the very last day of school, which was a day that a lot of kids actually missed, because their parents would sometimes like pull them out of school the last days to go on holiday early. So it was basically only me, another girl, who she wanted to become a doctor. So she was really interested in this. And the teacher.
We were only 2 kids. And this teacher kept talking as if they were tons of other people, which was really weird because we were only 2. And so she showed us all the preventive, like, condoms and IUDs and all these things. And that was good. But she waited until the last day when nobody was there to like check. So that was kind of weird. But yeah, so that was that. And that was the only sexual education I got. And obviously, no talk about LGBTQ issues and talk about, they talked a little bit about the menstrual cycle. But that was pretty much it. It didn't go into more details about which of these preventive you should use or anything like that. So that was my sex education. I didn't get any other help. Remember, Dale doesn't play with them. We were somehow ahead of our teacher in these classes. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even get that, But this book is advanced. So you read in English, but so it's on hard mode anyway. Yeah, really. I mean, I couldn't imagine having to read in a foreign language. I mean, well done. I have read a little bit in Swedish, but I do know Swedish because I live there, in Sweden. No, but it was interesting. And also it has like different boxes that has like a little bit of help. It talks about how actually when women are menstruating, it actually, the reason that there are cramps is because the blood flow is actually trying to stop itself. And they're trying to stop the blood circulation to the uterus. And that women who have more prostaglandins, which are inflammatory hormones, they have more period pain. So that was pretty interesting too. But there's all sorts of things. There's even about menopause and about like why our menstrual cycle might be disturbed, and it's only the follicular phase, the first phase of the menstrual cycle, that is affected. The second phase can be affected, but not as much. So when the period is at a different time than usual, it actually doesn't really, it's often because of stress and lack of nutrition and stuff that you had in the first part of your cycle, because you haven't ovulated in time. That's the thing. This is really good. I hope that you guys are having a good evening meal. I remember my classes at SVT, psycho people were really, really rude. I dislike when people turn on some subject in science into something vulgar. Yeah, I know. But it is a weird situation, Like, the boys were not really mature about this. Let's just say. It just felt a little bit like girls wanted to know this because they wanted to understand like their periods and contraceptive and stuff. But boys were not interested at all, and so they would snicker and, be dumb about it. And it's actually, it's kind of also for them, Oh, you didn't eat it, Sigparvis Magna?
Yo, what's happening? I'm an INTJ. Oh, hello, Deuce. I liked having you on the last chat. It was fun. Yeah, we're talking about sex education. You came at the right time. No, but it's because I'm reading this book, which is a good book about the female body. Yeah. You're waiting for my life to end? What? Where Schumann hasn't set the alarm yet. The alarm is at like 2 hours and 46 minutes. Oh, but sick purpose, you should eat. I should probably end this live just so that you can go and eat. No, I'm not reading anything else new. That let me show you my book collection right now, so you can postpone eating. Okay, here, these are the books, and funnily enough, what I have up here is Loveless, which is an asexual story. And this is Lone Frank, which is To Love at Elska, which actually my ISFJ friend recommended to me. He actually owns the book. He got it for his birthday. Then I've got Norwegian Wood. I've got this about the Sami people, Stöld. The Body Keeps a Score, which I still haven't finished reading since last year, because I'm procrastinating the EMDR chapter, because I found out a lot of things about EMDR that are kind of weird. That makes me kind of doubt the whole thing about EMDR. I watched a video essay about that. And then underneath there's a Kazuo Ishiguro book there. So yeah, I haven't started any of these books. So we'll see if I'll just return them to the library without having read them. Oh, by the way, I hope that you guys have seen the Frank James video about the different types at the library, because that one was really funny. It was one of his best ones. The INFP was pretty meta, like just appeared out of nowhere, kind of like INFPs do. And there was the INFJ and the ISTJ, which was like the INFJ is trying to flirt with the ISTJ, and the ISTJ keeps taking the INFJ literally, and the INFJ is like trying to be subtle, but like can't be clear in the fact that that she wants to go on a date with the ICJ, and the ICJ is like so oblivious. And I really relate to both of them, but mostly to the ICJ. It's like it takes me ages to figure out, like, oh wait, that person was flirting with me. And some people are too subtle, you know. And the INFJ is like, you know, talking about a character in a book who wants to flirt with a librarian and trying to drop these hints. But the ISTJ like doesn't get it. And the INFJ is too scared to like actually say what she means. I found that to be hilarious. There was also the INTP in that scenario, which was pretty funny, an INTP scenario, where the INTP is going way too deep in this children's story. And it was, I'm just telling you, go watch it after this live, because it was funny. That's what I find so weird about INFPs. I have a feeling we can be subtle, but we have a desire for direct communication. At least that's how it is for me. INFJs are too subtle for me at times. Yeah, well, that's basically a trouble that I had with my, well, what used to be my INFJ best friend.
I need clear communication, even though I love metaphors. And I know that it's impossible to communicate in a way that actually satisfies both of those desires at the same time. But like sometimes if I don't get the hint, like I won't get it, or I get it too late, you know. Well, there are other people who just they think that they're being super clear, and I'm like, what's going on? At the same time, it might just be autism, but there is something about that the INFPs, I think, are one of the more. I think it was Dulles who was saying this, that INFPs are some of the least metaphorical, or like the most censor of the intuitives, or something like that. Because we do like the calm life of like things being simple. Our brains are like way too complex. We complexify things, and then it's like we just want things to be simple sometimes, you know. And some types that are intuitive just overcomplicate things all the time. Like INFJs, ENFJs, INTPs, INTJs. I mean, I think it's mostly the NI type stuff that overcomplicate things, when actually like maybe the NESI is a little bit more down to earth kind of combination, you could say. So yeah, that's what I would say on that question. Yeah, clear communication is key. True. Exactly. You can't expect somebody to like read your mind, you know. But it was funny with the INFJ and the ISTJ, because like the ISTJ is acting the way that I would act. Like the ISTJ is like, oh, do you need some recommendations on some books? And then the INFJ is like, yes, you could say a book is like, please show me the books on communication. And he's like, oh, the books on communication are in this section of the library, you know. And like that would be me. Like I would go and like take it literally to the first level of communication, you know. Yes, well, clear communication is important for everyone. It's just that some people are more naturally good at it than others, you know. And yeah, that's why I think Dulles was talking about how in the C.S. Joseph model, in the socionics / C.S. Josephy kind of thing, and in the BB model, he would be an ISFJ because he likes the sensory communication. And I think that I would be an ISFJ as well. And I think that that's why I mistyped at the very beginning of when I first was into MBTI. I thought that I was an ISFJ. I also thought I was an INFJ. But I was like, none of these really work. Like, which one am I, INFJ or ISFJ? And then I realized, no, actually, I'm neither of those. But it makes sense that I like that communication. I also like more of a collaborative style of interaction with others, which could be related to FE, you know. But it's not FE, because the BB CS Joseph model is not the same as MBTI. They claim it's MBTI, but it's actually a completely different system.
It's just confusing because it uses the same terms as MBTI, but it's describing different things. You're recommending a theory book about this so I can better understand you. A theory book about MBTI? I do not know what you're talking about, Zeus. It's pretty funny when I say Zeus because I'm like, wait, I'm talking to the Greek gods. You know, I've been at psychiatry these past 3 months, so I've talked to people with really weird psychoses. And sometimes it's hard to know, like, what is truth, what is not truth, you know? The line is a little bit blurry sometimes. About the acronyms. Oh, you mean the cognitive functions? Or maybe you're new to MBTI? I always assume that people know all of the things I'm talking about because, you know, why would somebody stumble upon my channel, you know? But no, and maybe I should make a basic video about MBTI for the people who don't know. I don't have a specific video or book or something like that can explain this in a good way. But I'm not the best person to explain the theory. Okay, I am very confused about what Zeus is talking about. EMBTI? Myers-Briggs is MBTI. It's the same thing. Myers-Briggs testing indicator is the same thing. I mean, you know that you're an INTJ, so you've come that far. You must know what an INTJ is in its basics, at least. If you're coming on MBTI channels. We talk about MBTI, there's a lot to find it if you have to dive really deep into it. Yes, it's just weird because you've dived so deep that you've come to my channel. And I don't know how somebody who's not really into MBTI can come across my channel and say that they're an INTJ first thing. I guess that some people come in because of psychology or because of medical school, but most people are here because they kind of know the basics of MBTI and then they understand what I'm talking about. But there's way too much information, so I don't know how to direct you to the right way, you know? Work make me do a personality test. Oh, I came thanks to Bufo. Yes, I know Sig Parvis by now. But I mean, the way that you came to Bufo is also a mystery. I mean, somehow you must have been directed to Bufo. Well, a lot of what I'm going to be saying then in terms of MBTI is going to be unintelligible to you. But basically let's go basics because we don't have time. You researched it and the others drove towards you. Oh, wow. Nice Zeus. I have a god of the heavens come to my channel and ask me about MBTI. What's the situation? That's a whole different story, yeah. No, but basically the extremist niche. Yes, we are in this is very niche. I don't know how you came here. About you finding Bufo. Yes, I understand. So basically MBTI is that 4-letter code, right? And you know that I is for introvert, N is for intuitive, T is for thinking, and J is for judging. And there's that scale of like introvert to extrovert, intuitive to sensing, thinking, feeling, judging, perceiving. So you've got all of those dichotomies. And since you're an INTJ, you are an introvert, right? You're an intuitive, so you like to think abstractly. You are a thinker, so you prefer to make decisions based on logic. And judging, you prefer to have things, you prefer to have a conclusion rather than leave things open-ended. That's the basics. But then if you dive deeper into the theory that the Myers-Briggs based their findings on, you go back to Carl Jung, and Carl Jung had these different archetypes of what we call the cognitive functions. And the cognitive functions are the way that your brain works. And the cognitive functions are in a certain order, and we call it the cognitive stack. They're in a sort of order, like the one that you prefer to use most to the one that you prefer to use least. And they can only be slotted in certain combinations. And each type has a certain stack, a certain order of these functions. So you as an INTJ would have introverted intuition as your dominant function, your number one, the one that you're basically living introverted intuition, which is a lot about coming to abstract conclusions and principles about the world. And then your second function, which is also something that you use a lot, is TE, which is, TE is the introverted intuition is NI, because N is intuitive and I is introverted. TE is thinking and the extroverted version of that. So TE is extroverted thinking, which is that you like order, logic, practical efficiency. Then, so those are your two first functions as an INTJ, and that's what you are really good at and that you like doing. But then number 3, which is like you like using it, but you're not that great at using it, is introverted feeling, which is shortened FI. And that is basically your own values, your ethics, feelings about what is important to you. And then your last function that you have most problems with is extroverted sensing, SE. And SE is basically like living in the moment, using all your senses and being like taking action on things. So that is the real basics. And each of these functions has an introverted side and an extroverted side. So you can have FI, FE, NI, NE, TI, TE, SI, SE. And use 4 of the functions. And then there are 4 that are kind of like you don't really use. And so that's how roughly the MBTI works. Okay, I probably didn't make any sense, but that's as succinct I can make it. I could talk about this for hours. I've already talked for 2 hours and 14 minutes. Come on, Shuin, we are not extremists. Well, okay. We're kind of joking, but okay. How do you feel about ESTPs? Would you say communication for you with them works well, or do they tend to have misunderstandings for you? I tend to have basically 0 interactions with ESTPs. Like, we don't live in the same worlds. We're not really... it's not like I do any exciting sports or anything that an ESTP would like, you know? So yes, I don't think I've had many interactions with ESTPs, to tell you the truth. Schumann says, yes, true, Magna. I do exaggerate that we are extremists, but I think MBTI can be harmful when it leads you to be narrow-headed on the MBTI matter. I do agree with you. Très beau résumé. Thank you. Very interested. I appreciate you for doing that. Thank you, Zeus. I hope that I cleared up a little bit of this, because I was talking about FE. Anyway, I'm an INFP, so that means that I am a lot into just feeling and a lot into abstract, silly ideas. That's how I would describe an INFP, basically. Because I have introverted feeling as my first function, and my second function is extroverted intuition. So yeah, that's why I'm all over the place. But that's what I talk about on my channel mostly. It's just not a lot of INFPs go into medicine. I do have a friend who is an INTJ who is in medicine, and I've gotten to know her more and more these past few months, and I think we actually get along pretty well. And there is also INTJ soapbox comes up on this channel sometimes. Otherwise, it's mostly INFJs and INFPs on here, and then there's an INTP. A few INTPs. I also don't find INFPs in hard sciences. Well, yeah, hard sciences is debatable thing. I think that you'd find a lot of INFPs in biology, but I don't know if that would count as a hard science. Yeah. I think that there are some INFPs who are engineers. But in general, I think that INFPs prefer something that has a human element to it, and if they can find a human element in the hard sciences, then they'll do that. But I don't really find the human elements in that always. In your field, you mean physics? I don't really love physics, unfortunately. I do prefer physics to math, like pure mathematics, you know. Physics is a little bit more applicable in the world, but I would say that I prefer chemistry rather than physics. Yeah, Sig Parvis Magna knows about my difficulties with physics. I prefer chemistry. I think it's just like it's a different language, you know, to understanding the world. I like the world of the molecules, you know. I don't like as much the world of the sound waves and mechanics and stuff. It's not really how what I like to focus on in life, you know. I like focusing on things. But Sig Parvis Magna, aren't you an INFP? What are you doing in physics? You like it in physics. Maybe there's something that you like about that. Not exactly a hard science, but I study mechanical engineering. Well, that is pretty much a hard science to me. So you're in education and research. Mechanical engineering. Yeah, but isn't mechanical engineering coupled to physics, you know? Well, we have a lot of scientists here, so I'm guessing that the stereotype that INFPs are just artists and counselors is not true, right? Because there are so many INFPs here in the chat that like silence. Education and research is very broad, like it could be anything. Mechanical engineering is basically applied math and physics. Yes, exactly. Now I have
my best friend from high school, she designs, like she is an engineer and helps build bridges for the French state. But I don't know what type she is. I think that she is maybe a ISTJ or something like that. Watch out for socionics followers, Zeus. These might be dangerous on YouTube, as some might be indoctrinated. Yes, it is kind of a running joke on this channel, but I don't really understand socionics. I think that you, as an INTJ, you would probably like socionics, but some people use socionics and veer on the path of like fanaticism, and they think that MBTI is trash, and so and that socionics is way much better. So don't don't go that route. If you can, like, stay on the MBTI route until you know more about MBTI, and then once you know more about MBTI, then maybe it can be time to introduce some socionics topics. But it's different. It's like the Russian version of MBTI, and it's more thinker friendly. It's more like complex, but it is also not very applicable to real life and stuff like that. But contrary to the stereotype, I don't like the cold thinking. Human values can top science for me. Yeah, no, exactly. But do you find a human element in science? In the science that you're doing, I mean? Because that's why I liked biology so much, because it was connected to the human, you know? Russians or Russian? Like Russia, the country that is invading Ukraine. Oh, guys, I'm so sad about Israel. Sorry about getting into this topic now, but I found out that Israel is going to be in Eurovision, and I love Eurovision. As a gay person, of course I have to, like, as a queer person, I need to like Eurovision, right? But I cannot like Eurovision when Israel is in the playing, you know. And also Eurovision this year is in Sweden, which is where I am, so I won't be able to avoid it and boycott it totally, you know. It's in the south of Sweden, which is near where I used to live a few years ago. And just a side note, but yeah, it does. I was feeling sad about that today. Do you say Russians or Russian? No. And don't trust your socionics doppelganger. Pretty fishy. Who is your socionics doppelganger? Is it C.S. Joseph? I don't know. We do not like C.S. Joseph on this channel. Unfortunately, I can see in the analytics that one of the most viewed channels by people who view this channel is C.S. Joseph. And that is like the total opposite of what I want to promote. You know, it's difficult to say, but the human element is trying to understand the universe and reflect back on ourselves. Yeah, no, that is nice. Because yes, like the universe and our place in it, you know, that's kind of a human element. It is kind of philosophical, you know, when you think about it. Yeah. No, not wanting to hate on any socionics people, but C.S. Joseph is he's a scammer, and he's not a good person. He's not a good person, and he's a disturbed figure, let us say. And I don't recommend watching him. Let's see, about deep topic like consciousness. Yes, exactly. It's philosophical to think about the universe. And so physics, I guess, would be important in that thing. Oh, hello, Vanderpeet. You just joined it. It's so funny that people are joining. First, there was a person who joined, Zeus joined right when we were talking about sex education. And now Vanderpeet is joining right when we were talking about C.S. Joseph. Basically, we're teaching Zeus about MBTI because somehow he stumbled on this channel without knowing anything much about MBTI. And Schumann is telling him not to go into socionics. But I know that Vanderpeet likes socionics, but just not C.S. Joseph. That's what I love about learning about math and physics. It's like understanding how the universe truly works. Interesting. I didn't have one, but you had a Russian woman. The socionic sites images were spooky. Oh yes, I have an INFP doppelganger on the socionics pictures webpage. The one who's supposed to represent the INFP looks like me, and it's scary, you know. Nice to see you. Oh, everybody's so nice in the chat. I wonder what time of day it is in Australia, Vanderpeet. Because here, I guess that we're 10:30 at night. It might be 10:30 in the morning over there, something like that. I mean, to think about it, I should have been doing a Zoom call with older INFP insights at 1 in the morning today, but it got cancelled. So yeah, I guess I'll be going to sleep earlier. It's 8:30 a.m. Okay, so we've got 10 hours difference, I guess. Yeah, 10 hours difference. You put socionics into YouTube, and the first result was socionics versus MBTI. Do not get into socionics yet, Zeus. Just start with MBTI, start by learning the cognitive functions, go into like the real basics. Go into 16 personalities if you need to, which is like the most common online test. I'd even recommend that rather than like going into, yes, don't open Pandora's box yet. I mean, once you get more familiar with the theory, then you can like explore different avenues and things that are a little bit less classic, you know. But at first you need to have like a good foundation, you know, to kind of understand what each type is, beyond just the description of your type, like understanding, okay, what are all these cognitive functions? You know, what does it mean for you? What does it mean for other people? And then you can start diving into all of these like theories and things. I mean, I've been into MBTI for about more than 10 years now, on and off, you know. So I like to say that I know my stuff. I think I know quite a lot about MBTI actually. Too much. I know too much. And so like I can afford to like go and dip my toes into socionics sometimes. Yes, exactly this. You get the fundamental theory down first and then move on to other theories. And especially because you say that you're an INTJ. Yes, in socionics, INTJ is called INTP, which causes more confusion at first. So I'm not saying do not ever get into that, but like don't get into that now. Okay, get the fundamentals first. You'll find that the MBTI community is a little bit nicer than the socionics community in general. But I know that if you're an INTJ in the MBTI, then you'll probably like the socionics part of it, but maybe a little bit later. That's what I would say. But yeah, sometimes I will say something that will be a little bit on the socionic side, but it doesn't really, yeah, it's not my usual way of thinking about personality type, because I'm usually just like into cognitive functions and that's it. Let's see. Well, I'm happy that Valdopy joined us right when we're like nearing the end of this live, which was one of the longest lives ever. But yeah, is there anything else that people want to ask? Wait, to be fair, the function definitions are different in socionics compared to MBTI. They can be similar, but not always one-to-one. That confused me at first as well. Yeah, exactly. It's very confusing if you're like trying to learn two systems at the same time. Any reading recommendations? Well, I'll leave it to the people in the chat to give reading recommendations, because I personally did not read any books, any MBTI books. I only did all my research online. Back then I went into Personality Cafe and I went to all of the forums there and all that stuff, but that was like 2013 or 2012 or something, you know. The things have updated a little bit. Vonopete has probably things, because Vonopete has read books actually, as opposed to me who hasn't read books. I'm like going the lazy route, just like watching people on YouTube and reading things on the internet. I mean, I guess that's the one that is the most common one to learn is Please Understand Me, right? That's one of the books called Please Understand Me. I'll start MBTI and move on. See you in a few months when I randomly stumble into your live again. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I have other videos other than my lives, but you'll probably come across this channel again. But mostly I talk about INFPs. I don't talk about. Yes, I understood you, Zeus. I understand. Yeah, you have that book. Please Understand Me. But that's like the most common one that is recommended to people. Then there must be some kind of young book. I forget what the name of that one is. To my knowledge, there isn't a book about the INTJ personality type. But there are books about MBTI in general and cognitive functions. Psychological Types by Young. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So those are the books that most people seem to get into the subject with. Exactly. Yeah. And Vonopete, I need to go to Japan. I need to go. I didn't think that you'd end up on this live, but I was just talking about that. Oh, Psychological Types by David Kersey. Exactly. Sorry. David Kersey is an INTP. So he's also written books about INTPs. But Carl Jung did write a book as well. I forget what it was. Maybe it was a Psychology of Type or something. They have pretty similar names, their books. Yeah. Never read a book about MBTI. So rabbit hole on the internet works as well as it gets. Yes. The only difference is that on the internet is that you might get swept in by the I sound like an MBTI purist, you know, talking like this, but it is kind of I like just the regular theory. I don't need to go into all of these other rabbit holes. But yeah, it's easy to get swept away and into a cult. Yes, follow Pete. I need to go. And then my brother also wants to go to Japan. My mom also wants to go to Japan, but I'm not inviting her to Japan. I want to go, and maybe I'll go with my brother. We'll see. My brother is really interested in manga and stuff, which I don't really know much about, but I feel like I'll shrivel up and die if I don't go on a trip. If I stay here and it's I don't know. I'm taking a holiday in the beginning of August, so I don't know if I'll know Pete if you're free or if you're working or if you take a holiday or what's going on. Bye, Raven. I'm leaving now. Okay, bye, Zeus. Go and hope for the best in your adventures in MBTI. It is funny how Zeus and Raven really goes well together, doesn't it? Like, doesn't... I think that there's some kind of Greek god that has a raven on their shoulder or something. Maybe that might be a Nordic god. It might be like Thor or Odin or something. Save return to Olympus. Yes. Yes, exactly. It's Odin. Oh yes, Odin has ravens. Yeah. I saw a piece of art that was an asexual flag next to, like, it was a raven holding an asexual flag. And I was like tempted to buy that piece of art so that I can have it behind me as like my filming studio kind of thing. I will remember July. You will be free in July? Yes, I want to go to Nara Park. I went to feed the deer. Oh, I'll just be there trying to do all of the cutesy stuff, all the cute things, but it will probably be just me being silly with the deer and like the deer not liking being around me or something. Uh, or like that rabbit island or something that I'll like scare off all of the rabbits. Nara, yes, Schumann, I have unresolved issue with the deer there. Oh, yeah. I was because I had to choose my holidays super early, and I actually asked for my holidays one day late, and my boss was kind of iffy about giving me what I wanted. I'm going to be free 1.5 weeks, like 10 days at the end of May and beginning of June in order to move. And then I have 2.5 weeks, which are planned for like the very end of July and the beginning of August. So yeah, that's when I will be free. And where I wish to go to Japan. But I am flexible. I think that my boss will be flexible too. It's just that we don't want everybody to be away at the same time at my workplace. Nara was so beautiful and loved it there, and the deer, when food badly, they get surprisingly aggressive. Yes. I don't know. I don't know if I went to feed the deer, but I went to see the deer. And I went to like bow to them like an actual person in Japan would do, And I went to do all of the things. There are many things I went to do. I went to eat those big pancakes, and I have a list of things that I went to do. I went to eat the big pancakes, and I went to see the deer, and I went to I went to go to the Muji headquarters, and I went to like see the Studio Ghibli stuff, and I went to I went to see Fujiyama, and I went to eat sushi, of course, and I went to go to the kombini and get the the 7-Eleven snacks because they seem so cool. And all of these little things. Um, I went to get the gacha toys in the boutiques and stuff, and uh, sounds like I went to do all the consumerist stuff, but yeah. But I also went to like drink tea, and just see the nature and the places and everything. You know, my dad like is the only person in my family who's not interested in going to Japan. But I think that he would like be the person who would do the best in Japan because he's like so overly polite and stuff. My mom is an American who is very loud, so I don't know how well she would do in Japan. But me and my brother, I think that it would work out. We've never gone on a trip together, but we want to go there. It's just that if I bring him, then my mom will want to come as well, and it's like I don't want her to come. So maybe I'll just go alone and do something with them at another point. Because yeah, my brother wanted to go to the US, but my uncle is sick, so we'll see what we do. But Valdo Pete, I might send you an email or something, because I have your email. But yeah, okay. Are we getting near the record, Schumann? Schumann is our time taker on here. I don't know how long my longest video was, but we're getting near there, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I really needed a distraction from this apartment hunting that I'm like dying about. So yeah. Okay, I will. I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation because like my brother was like, yeah, but we don't know anyone in Japan. And we don't know anybody who can show us around. And I didn't have the heart to tell him because he doesn't know about this channel. Well, he knows that I vlog, but he doesn't know what I'm doing. And he's like, my brother just, oh, I didn't know how to explain that. Like, this is a person I have never met, who I've met on the internet, and who lives in Australia, but who loves Japan and who wants to show me around. I'm like, so I did not say any of that, but I realized like this is such a strange situation. But okay, about 8 minutes, but you don't have to force it. It means something as a timekeeper. When the deep talk hits, then we will have unbreakable record. I cannot do 1 more hour of this. You'll have to go back and watch the rest of what we were talking about, because we did talk about my whole apartment hunting stuff, and we talked about well, you didn't even see any of the food, right, Follow Pete? I made the food and I ate the food, and then I even had time to recommend a book and then go into sex ed, and then and then Deuce came on and then wanted to know everything about MBTI, and then we got into socionics and C.S. Joseph. That's when you joined. So yeah, I highly recommend visiting Australia. Yes, that's also on my list, but Japan is taking priority on that. Because I've never been in a country where I don't speak the language. And I think that would be really good for me, to get me out of my comfort zone and stuff. Like, you know, it's like my idea of going to Scotland, you know. Basically on my list of priority, it's Japan, Scotland, Australia. And the US was my priority before Australia before, because my family lives there, but at the moment I can't really go there. So yeah, so Australia is at number 3 right now. Yes, you will watch it back later. I guess it's Sunday already over there, so yeah. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go and drink some more tea. It was nice hanging around with you guys. I will send an email to Vandal Pete, and Sig Parvis Magna can send me an email about medical stuff. And yes, it's time to eat, Sig Parvis Magna. You waited all this time to eat. Okay, so we'll have to say bye for now. Okay, I will be releasing that video about Björk's yoga, which is a mishmash of like everything. It's basically a crochet poetry video as well, kind of, because it's a song video where I do crochet, but it's also a reply to Gillis's message video and older INFP insights and Bufo's reaction to his video. So yeah, c'était super sympa. Ok. Bon. Très belle soirée. Bonne nuit. Okay. Well, bonne nuit, everybody. Bye bye. I like when everybody says bye to each other in the chat, so please do that. I'm leaving it on for a few more extra minutes or seconds. There we go. Okay, bye. Nobody wants to say bye except for Sig Parvis Magna. Okay. How do we close this off nowadays? Bye-bye.